This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. Okay, so Mizzix's Mastery is really sweet. I mean, there's some crazy combos with it. The spell deck is pretty real in the format. Ramp, like in most cubes, also a thing, and the Great Henge does that. The thing that's the best in this cube, though, and it's been true since in all versions of this cube, is that, like, mono red and mono white aggro are just the best decks. So, we've got all of the Sky claves on that front. That said, drafting a wacky Mizzix's Mastery deck does seem appealing to me, even though I think, if I was drafting 100% for win rate, I guess speaking of which, should probably turn my stats off. I would probably take them all, but I'm going to take the Mastery here. Ooh, okay, well, that's insane to get. Now I'm glad I did this. I would have been really mad if I passed Mizzix's Mastery and then got Magma Opus. So, the times when we get both of these in our opening hand, you can, and this was something you could do in Strixhaven, by the way. It was hard to do because it involved 2 Mythics, but you could pay 2 and discard this, then the next turn cast the Mastery, and you're not overloading it, but you get a turn 3 Magma Opus, which is usually enough to win the game anyway, and that's what we're going to take here. Nice. Let's see if we can keep it up. Alright, so we definitely need like cheap removal and stuff like that to get to the point in the game where we go wild. So Strangle and Sweltering Suns are both pretty appealing. You really need... Sweltering Suns is good, but if you stumble at all on your mana, the aggro decks can just destroy you. Whereas Strangle is something that lets you deal with these 1 and 2 drops, so it's hard pick, kind of. I guess I go Sweltering Suns in the end. It's a sweeper, so... Okay. So, probably just Obliterating Bolt here. Some good cards for the white aggro... deck, in particular the Loxodon and the Elite Spellbinder. So, like I said, if I had drafted more towards just trying to get the best possible deck, this is probably where we would be, and we'd be pretty happy with that too, but we're getting spells, so I'm not too upset about things. Alright, so Doran likes spells. Dorat, rather. Doran is a large tree folk. Rabbit Battery and Magna, not bad either. I mean, it does ramp you, and that matters. Rabbit Battery's not really for us. Neither is Curious Obsession. Basically, it's Magda or Dorat. I think I'm just going to take Dorat and just sort of force this deck because it's fun. So, let's do it. There's some other wild build-arounds in the set for spells, too. I think, well, Double Vision used to be in this cube. I haven't actually looked at the updated list. It probably still is. I mean, that kind of card isn't usually the kind that gets phased out when they introduce new cards. Okay, so probably just grab Ornithopter here. Fixes our mana, ramps us. Those are things we want to do. Most decks in this format that aren't the aggro ones like all these mana things, and we're going to take one here. The Visionary's okay. These are okay cards too, but I think getting some ramp going is definitely better. Let's just draw Mastery and Opus in our opening hand every game. We can do it. I guess I should also say, and the mana I need also. That would be good as well. Okay, so probably a Braid. Epicure's nice. I mean, it's better in like a really aggressive deck, but the fact it lets you filter through lands is nice too, or helps you find whatever you need. Helps you discard your Magma Opus. Of course, it can do it on its own. So we'll just grab another spell. Okay. So Star of Extinction's cool, but I think, this kind of sweeper, I prefer these so you can survive against the aggro decks as opposed to, like, late game sweeper. But it's a thing. Could just take flames here. I probably do. It is basically Arc Lightning. Kamado faces Kakazan's nice if we're aggressive. Does look like the aggressive decks are pretty open, but... And blue doesn't seem enormously open, does it? So the Maul Wield, which is pretty cool. Zariel's not bad. A Palladium Mirror isn't bad either. More mana. And the lands aren't bad either, of course. Allows us to splash and stuff. So... I'm going to go ahead and take Zariel. Let's just grab a Planeswalker. It's a non-creature. Sweltering Suns doesn't hit Planeswalkers, so... Ooh. Yeah, we'll take Ral, too. Another land and a Bank Buster. Those are fine, but let's just grab the blue-red card. So... I definitely don't study the new cards for this cube. I mean, it changes every time, but it's not like drastically different. If it was, I would, I guess, to some extent, but mostly I just improvise on the fly, I guess. Knowing, you know, red and white, mono white aggro are real things, but then there's all these other, you know, there's ramp decks that are really good, and then there's wacky decks like this one. Strangle Wield, that works for me. We could almost be mono red, which is weird, because we don't have the means to be like a mono red aggro deck, which is usually what you are when you're mono red, but we're going to be a mostly red deck, it would seem. Got lots of spells, and then we have, you know, powerful blue cards that are also red, so kind of interesting. Oh, what's the other? There's Double Vision, Arcane Bombardment. That would be cool if it's in this cube. All right, so if we could splash Lorehold Command, we definitely will. Definitely looks like mono white and mono red aggro are really open. Everyone else in the cube decided to do silly things rather than draft the what I think are just the best decks in the format. That's okay. Yeah, Magda's fine. Mostly because she ramps. I mean, she's not, like, amazing. And we get a Visionary, too. So red's, like, crazy open. Blue, a lot less so. And we passed up some fixing there, which maybe I'll regret. But, I mean, we might even just play a Chain Whirler in this deck, I guess. It's not amazing in this type of deck, mind you. It's better in an aggro deck. But if we can cast it easily enough, it might just be worth it. Okay, so Spikefield Hazard's nice. It's a land that's also a spell. Reality Chip can be pretty good, but we don't have a lot of creatures, so not super into reconfiguring it. I think we're looking at the Hazard and Cold Steel Heart the most. Isuka's Chariot is obviously great, but not where we are. Adeline, a great white aggro card, so we would have drafted a pretty good white aggro deck, but that's okay. Ramp or spell land? I think we take the ramp. Okay, so this is a spell payoff that's not bad. You know, loses its counters. You know, gains counters rather, and then turns into a scary creature. Shivan Devastator, not a terrible thing for us to ramp into. We've also got a Lightning Axe, which right now the only thing we have that like cares about the graveyard is Mizzix's Mastery, but that matters. I'd probably just grab an egg, though. Do the spell things. I wouldn't hate Champion of Wits. Oh, there's also a Sublime Epiphany. That thing is so busted if you actually get to cast it. We do already have one really expensive spell where that's the case, but maybe we want another one that's not quite as expensive. Which of these is more likely to wheel? I kind of feel like the egg is. Let's go ahead and grab the Epiphany. So another land that's also a spell. In Shatterskull Smashing. I think that is what we're going to take here. Light Up the Stage is good if you're aggressive. It is a spell, but we're not going to be able to cast it for Spectacle often enough for me to be super pumped about it. So I think we'll just take Shatterskull Smashing here. Okay. Fading Hope's not bad. Pyromancer's not bad either. Wish it was the young Pyromancer as opposed to the grown-up version of the same character. But Devil's Play's not bad. Could take a land. Right now, we don't really need a black land. I mean, lands are good in Cube for sure. I've taken fewer than I normally would in this draft. But I'd probably take... I think we just take a Pyromancer here. Grim Lavamancer. Unlicensed Hearse. I mean, graveyards are a thing. God, they put this in the format. Lavamancer and Disdainful Stroke. Lavamancer is kind of a non-bow. Disdainful Stroke. I mean, it's better in this format than in some, but it's horrible against the aggro decks. It's really good against all the other decks, but horrible against the aggro decks. So I don't love it. Do I just grab a Hearse here? Kind of think I do. I don't know if it's going to make the cut, but... Alright, here's a Lightning Strike. I think we probably... Ooh, there's also a Delver. How many spells do we have right now? We're already at 10. I think we're kind of interested in Delver. And Lightning Strike's great and all, but we already have a bunch of similar effects. So I think we're going to grab a Delver here. A Darkar Wastes could help us play Lorehold Command, but let's take the spell payoff. This, you know, isn't terrible mana for our deck. Search for Azcanta is sweet. Definitely better if you're, you know, a really grindy deck, I guess. Chart a Course is okay. Maybe I just take the Garden. It'll set up our mana for Lorehold Command a little bit better. Yeah. I don't know. Drawing spells is good. So I'm going to take that. All right. Baral. Yes, please. I also like Dragon's Rage Channeler, but I think Baral is just better. I mean, the ability to decrease the cost of our spells really matters. All right, so we got the Hazard back. That's pretty sweet. Not a huge shock that we did, really, but... So right now, Lorehold Command's not getting played. We're just a straight-up blue-red deck. All right, so the egg did come back as we thought it might. I think I go ahead and take the spell card over these cards that are just, like, good. We are forcing the deck, so... So we are going to be blue-red, legitimately, which means we don't want Chain Whirler. Probably don't want Voltaic Visionary. I think Mog does okay. She does give us some fixing, I guess. We have a little bit of fixing. I mean, Cold Steel Heart can be, so can the Ornithopter, so it could happen, I guess, that we can play our Lorehold Command, but... I'm not hugely confident it will. Yeah, I am basically being handed mono red, but I don't want it. There doesn't seem to be either a mono red or a mono white drafter at this table. So, you know, kind of interesting. As both of these illustrate. Why does this have to be the... I have to turn off the Godzilla styles, don't I? Okay. So some spicy stuff here. Fabled Passage would give us some fixing. We've also got the Might Stone and Weak Stone. We're not that interested in it, though. No, it doesn't help us cast our thing. So it's basically like Fiery Impulse or Fabled Passage for us. And I'm sort of thinking it's time to grab some fixing over like a fine card. Oh, there's also a multiple choice. Still think we take Fabled Passage, though. It is good fixing, after all. All right, Seize the Storm and Tolarian Terror. My goodness. I think I take Seize the Storm over the Terror, but man, the Terror is going to be good. If it wheels, I'll be pretty happy. It's kind of likely both of them wheel, based on what we've seen, I feel like. Maybe it's more likely the red card wheels, but I do think Seize the Storm's actually a little better. Like, it creates more of a difficult situation for your opponent because it gives you 2 tokens and it has trample. So lands, Savai Triome could help us cast our Lorehold Command. Kazul's Fury's okay. Maze Mind Tome's not bad. I think we probably just grab a Triome. Evolving Wilds for more fixing. That's probably where we go. Saw It Coming's okay, but it's not great. I think we probably have enough juice now to play Lorehold Command, which I think is good. It's a good spell to play, so. Probably, I don't know that I want, like, Devil's Play. You know, there's going to be some spells we end up having to cut, obviously. We do have both spell lands, which is nice. Kind of doubt we play the Hearse in the end. Royal Eruption, another land that would help us cast our splash card, which is worth splashing. So I think we probably take it, and I think we're probably good now on fixing, pretty much, to play Lorehold Command. From here, we can just take spells. I mean, we could take, you know, this land is blue-red, but I like Fight with Fire enough. I think I grab it. This is another land that helps us too, but, you know, we can cast this early, and then for a pretty good spell, and then in the late game we can kick it, which is always nice. So Shivan Reef, decent fixing, another spell land, and Jawari Disruption, Pillar of Flame. I mean, Fable of the Mirror Breaker is such a silly card. It might just be it. I mean, it's not an instant or a sorcery. It doesn't do all the things that we, like, want for our deck to do, but it's just such a good card. I think we just have to take it. Okay, some Steam Vents. Midnight Clock's a little interesting. We're not that into ramping, though, other than our Magma Opus. So we could just take Steam Vents. Bloodthirsty Adversary's not bad either. It's, you know, I guess we can kick it into sort of being a second copy of Mizzix's Mastery. I mean, not quite, but it seems okay for the deck. It's definitely better, I think, in the aggro decks, honestly, where you can play it on 5, kill something with a spell in your graveyard, and then, you know, swing for 3. Multiple Choice versus Fiery Impulse. I still feel like we're doing well enough on cheap removal that I probably just grab Multiple Choice. It just has a more powerful effect overall. Alright, the Terror Wheel. That works for me. I wanted to pick the one where it would wheel, and it did anyway. So, do I just want Mind Stone? We're just not that good at flinging things, so I think we just take some more ramp here. Circuit Mender, I mean, there are worse cards. Oh, free Pillar of Flame. I'll take it. All right. So, I think this deck looks pretty good overall. Was there a better aggro deck in that draft somewhere? Almost assuredly. However, I think we'll have more fun with this. Yeah, so got some stuff to cut. In the end, we ended up with 17 instants and sorceries, so we can even afford to cut a couple and still be able to play things like Delver. Yeah, we may not really want Magda in the end. Why wouldn't Lorehold work? We have excellent fixing for it, and it's a powerful spell, so I don't see myself cutting it. I think we probably do cut Magda in the end. We have enough fixing without her now, and enough ramp. You know, the Mana Rocks are just sort of better versions of Magda in this deck. You know, if you have other stuff going on in your deck, If you're an aggro deck, she's better, but we're not. So I'd rather have, you know, the rocks. So Zerial's definitely better if you're an aggro deck. I mean, churning out the tokens is okay. We probably don't play Light Up the Stage, as I said earlier. We're not going to be able to cast it the way we want to cast it often enough. So we can sort of put these over here. And I don't think we cut either of them. I could consider cutting one mountain, though. Yeah, I think we probably do. Although the numbers it has here don't seem right at all now that I'm looking at it. I think I'd rather cut an island. Oh, no, it does. It does make sense. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. And we don't have any non-basic that produces blue, though we do have Fabled Passage and Evolving Wilds. I think we probably... The only awkward thing is we do kind of want to be able to play Delver on turn 1, so maybe the mana is fine. As is. Yeah, it's probably okay. Okay. So, I think we cut Devil's Play. I think we cut Zariel. Raw copying spells seems pretty good. Seize the Storm is pretty good. Still have 5 cuts, though. Okay, so how many spells do we have now? Still 15. I mean, I think we can cut as many as 3 more spells. Yeah, Search for Azcanta might not be great just because we're not super good at loading the graveyard. That's probably a reasonable cut. I like... If I could flip it, it would be great, but... Mostly it'll just surveil 1 for our deck very slowly. We're not ever going to do the countering part of this. But that's fine. He's just good anyway. So, we could probably trim... I mean, Seasoned Pyromancer, maybe it just gets cut in the end. It does help us find, like, Magma Opus and Mizzix's Mastery. These things matter. But it's definitely better in, like, an aggro deck than it is in this deck. Or at least a more creature-heavy mid-range deck, which I don't really feel like we are. Based on our 8 creatures, you know. It does give us multiple bodies, etc. Would I rather have it than Bloodthirsty Adversary, I guess, is a question. Can only cast mana value 3 or less. I guess we have enough of that we are down. Yeah, we are. So I think we cut Pyromancer. I mean, I could cut Epiphany. I mean, we have, you know, the Magma Opus over here as a big spell, and it gives us 2, which could be a problem sometimes, but it's just so strong that I have a hard time cutting it. All right. I think we're cutting some spells now, like the worst ones we have, you know, these earlier spells. Nah, I think we leave Mind Stone in. I think we want these 3 ramp artifacts in a world where we have Mizzix's Mastery and Magma Opus. I'd rather cut, like, a Pillar of Flame. And I think maybe we just cut the Adversary in the end, too. I mean, kicking it is sweet, I guess. But we have other ways to do things with spells in our graveyard. So, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I still haven't cut a land, right? Yeah, no. I mean, I'm cutting 1 land since I'm putting these 2 in. It's just a question of which land. I think it's probably supposed to be an island. Yeah. All right. I think this looks pretty good. I mean, Delver is maybe something we should play in like a more aggressive, tempo-y version of this deck, but we're going to play it anyway. Yeah. Deck looks pretty good overall. I mean, it looks fun anyway. We'll see how it pans out. I'm just glad they put the cube up at a time when I can actually play it, unlike most of the time. Hello, Create. Okay. Pretty good. I mean, more cheap spells early would be good. But, other than that... Alright, so it looks like our opponent's on shenanigans as well, probably. Yeah, sometimes in Midnight Hunt there were Delver decks. Didn't always see them, but... I guess we're going to Evolving Wilds here. Probably grab an island. We know we need double blue at some point. We've already got double red, so yeah. There's a treasure map. So they're on one of the ramp decks, I would think. Wow, Arena is laggy today. There's a Seize the Storm. What does this do? At this mana value, not really enough to be worth it, I don't think. I mean, I could cast it just to draw, which isn't terrible. Yeah, maybe I just am supposed to do that. Yeah, I think we are. Cold Steel Heart. Do I really want that here? Not really. Yeah, I'd much rather have something like Obliterating Bolt, so that works out for me. Something that can kill a creature. Where's my Abrade so I can kill that treasure map, you know? So they could be holding up counter magic here. I think we just want to play Raw. He resolves, we scry.
Time to test the storm amplifier.
Are we down for Fable? I mean, probably. When aren't you, you know? Yeah, I think we'll leave Fable. So next turn we can play Delver and Fable. May end up playing the Hazard. They're less likely to have like an X1. Alright, well that's not ideal, but not the biggest problem in the world either. Alright, so yeah, let's get Fable online. Ooh, Auto Tapper just ruined my life, didn't it? Yep. Freaking Auto Tapper. So I could have played the Delver too. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and play this. I don't envision it being that good against them because they don't look like they're gonna be playing a whole lot of X1s. It's great against the aggro decks, not so good otherwise. You can just play it as a land, though. Yeah, it wanted me to leave red up for Hazard more than it wanted me to be able to cast my Delver, which is interesting. So, what am I doing about that? I guess killing it? Hopefully. Kind of considering pitching the Delver here now, honestly, because I'm not going to have time to cast it anytime soon. So yeah, let's just throw it away. If I played it last turn, that would be a whole other thing, but... Alright, so let's see what happens when we attack Teferi here. If they let me hit Teferi, I can use Obliterating Bolts. Could also theoretically use Sublime Epiphany. They do have mana up that could be counter magic. I think we kind of just hope they don't, though, and cast the bolt here. Thank God. He even gets exiled, so we never have to worry about him again. Do I want to cast Seize the Storm? I think probably. I mean, we've just got the mana lying around. They could have a sweeper, I guess, but it has flashback, so let's just go for it. Pressure them a little more with our board. Fable of the Mirror Breaker is such a good card. Now they have a Mountain of Mana. Hopefully they can't do anything too scary with it. Well, now they have even more mana. Okay. Ooh. That's... Wow. I don't think that card's particularly good, but it just really did something impressive. No doubt about that. Made us discard our Sublime Epiphany, and then exiled our whole graveyard, plus Seize the Storm when I already had a Seize thing in play. It's pretty ferocious. Pretty ferocious. Yeah. I think we probably just attack. And we can choose a couple modes on this, depending on what happens after said attack. During said attack, I guess is the better way of putting it. But we are pretty much out of gas. They have a Mountain of Mana, so don't love that. Okay. So, I think we go +1/+1 and Indestructible. And I guess another token. Yeah, another creature, rather. So, this will hit them for 3 now, which is nice. They do still have 3 mana up, so if they counter this, we're pretty much done. We might be done anyway after that Go Blank. It's the most effective Go Blank of all time. Is there any value in creating any of these tokens? No. Because I can do it, but it doesn't really matter. Mizzix's Mastery also now terrible. So yeah, that Go Blank was highly effective. Safe to say. Yeah, mountain off the top. I guess we could still draw Magma Opus. That would be cool. We definitely trade for this if they let us. And we also get in for 3 if they let us. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can hold on to this land to bluff and still cast Magma Opus next turn when I draw it, if I draw it. I made it sound like I knew I was going to draw it there, but I don't know. Hello, Huckabee. So they probably have Field of the Dead, which I think is a really fun deck. Yeah, here comes a Planeswalker that's going to exile our best creature. Or they'll put a Ghost Form counter. I guess that makes sense. Not really when you want to draw your Smoldering Egg. Yeah, I mean, they're just going to beat us in the long run. I don't know how they wouldn't. Hopefully they can do it quickly. I guess drawing Magma Opus would give us a little help, but yeah. We are playing the Arena Cube, a blue-red spell deck. Yeah, they've got to have Field of the Dead. Just like my favorite style of control deck in this format, for sure. I guess Fight with Fire could get pretty close to killing them, too, potentially. So, we obviously... Do I block? I think maybe I just block. That's a gross combo, though. I might be able to kill my egg, but it's whatever. How much mana do we need to kick Fight with Fire? A lot. I think 10 is the answer. We're not that far from it. Yeah. So they're just like a control deck. Rockin' Field of the Dead and powerful planeswalkers. The funny thing is, we do still have a couple of cards that might let us get there, but we have to get them soon. I can get to 10 mana next turn, assuming we draw our, the card we want to draw. But I have to attack with my 2/2 and hope they don't block in this theoretical scenario. Okay. We'll be dead soon. Or draw our only out and actually manage to resolve it, maybe? So, we do have 10 mana for next turn, and we don't have to attack into a lifelinker. So that's good. Oh, they attacked with their lifelinker, though. God. They would, wouldn't they? So if I block, they get this back as a removal spell and then can recast it. But I think we have to get it off the board. But I don't think we can do 12 now. 10 was doable. 12 is not. Not what we want. All right. They got us. Yeah, I mean, that go blank was, like, backbreaking. Like, we had one of the best cards in our deck in our hand. We had a card in play that needed cards in the graveyard, and we had a flashback card in our graveyard. And it was just like, no, you don't have any of that anymore. Sorry. Sorry about that. The most powerful go blank of all time. Yeah, I think we keep it. We do wish we had our Magma Opus in our opening hand, but we can try to draw it and pull off the Magma Opus combo with our Mastery. I think we probably just want to strangle the Shigeki before things get silly. Grab an island with this, I think. We have enough other white sources in our deck for our one Lorehold command that I think that's fine. After this draft, I'll let people decide whether they want me to draft Brothers War or Cube. I'm happy to do either. Delver. So, do I want to play Fable or Delver? I mean, it's obviously Fable, right? Yeah. Yeah. This ramps us even, you know? That's... If this goblin didn't make treasure, this card would still be really good. But man, the fact it makes treasure... Very sweet. I think I'm actually too late to sign up for the Arena Open. So the answer is no. So they do get to blow this thing up, which is annoying. But we got a 2-2 that's going to ramp us out of it. All right, well, or not. Still sort of a 2-for-1. Okay. So now I think we play Mindstone, Delver. Don't really see a reason to bolt that thing. I have 19 hours to sign up, huh? If I do play in it, I wouldn't stream it, so... But I might, if I have time. I may actually have time today. Well, we definitely want to kill that with Obliterating Bolt. Because it'll start making copies and giving them silly value. So we'll go ahead and reveal this. Now, this is an interesting question. They know I have... They're going to know I have Fight with Fire. So, should I just cast it instead of Bolt so they have less information? That's the question. I don't know. I'm going to attack. That much I know. After that, the only thing is this has such good late game upside. I think we just have to cast the Bolt. Sure, they have the info that we have Fight with Fire in our hand, but we're fine with that. Let them have the information, you know? Yeah, it is better not to stream, for sure. Yeah. Okay. This will be a 3-3, right? Yeah. All right. So we attack for 3. We cast Seize the Storm. Are they going to get us with some big rampy thing? It is possible, especially if I don't find my second blue mana. If I find my second blue mana, we can, yeah. Well, it's not even just like the stream sniping. It's the fact that when one is streaming, you just play worse. Just because you're doing more than just playing the game. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't worry that much about stream sniping, to be honest. I mean, maybe I should, but it's not a huge concern to me. All right, so there's their Fight with Fire. Takes down our Delver. There's our other blue mana. Okay. So, probably just leave up Epiphany. It's not like we have a good attack here. I could cast Seize again and get a 3-3, another 3-3. But it does sort of feel like they're reaching a critical mass. The only thing is, if they don't play something I can counter, what do? I guess I probably bounce something, but they don't have a permanent I really like bouncing. So, maybe it's just Seize the Storm number 2. Yeah. And this isn't really the worst attack ever, frankly. If they want to double block and draw a card, yeah, that's fine, actually. Let's attack. All right. So I mean, I could Epiphany. It would still only make it a 4/4. But I could copy. But I think we probably just let it happen and see what happens. Yeah. We will let it all go down that way. Then I guess I just cast Seize again. Oh, I actually don't have the mana. Haha. I do for Sublime Epiphany, and that will be the plan, I suppose. We don't actually have, unfortunately, a creature to copy. However, countering this is probably just worth it. So, counter the spell and draw a card. Alright, we don't have white right now, but we can get there. Okay, so I guess I'm going to play this untapped just so I can seize the storm. Also gets us closer to all these shenanigans, so... Three, four, five, six, seven. So we're one away from overloading Mizzix's Mastery, which that alone probably just wins us the game. We get Epiphany, Bolt, and Strangle. All right, we got to land. It enters tapped, so that's a bummer. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But we do definitely play it. It also lets us cast Lorehold Command, so can't be that upset. They can start doing some significant damage to us here with Brash Taunter. So that's a thing. We're going to pass. So, guess they can cast Fight with Fire here and kill our token. That's annoying. Interesting. I guess they're both free. Oh, they can point them at their taunter. Okay. I think that might have let us win the game. It is going to hurt this turn, though. No, they are killing my creature. If they didn't kill my creature, I think we'd have a decent shot. Although I guess this is going to shrink. Mizzix's Mastery is sort of a non-bow, I guess. Alright, so they hit us for 3 with that. I don't have a creature to copy now, which is annoying. Then we take 5. Yeah, maybe we're in trouble here, huh? This Brash Taunter is no joke in this situation. Causes us some very real problems. So, Mizzix's Mastery. Not that great anymore. I can bounce the Taunter. But, like... It's probably just better to cast Fight with Fire and Lorehold Command here. To Fight with Fire to kill this. And Lorehold Command. We don't have to cast it yet, but we'll use it to... like... not die, and then hopefully survive so we can do Mizzix's Mastery next turn. Yeah. Because we can use this to gain ourselves some life. And make a token, which we can copy. So, yeah, we'll pass the turn, leave up lore hold command. It's unfortunate they're at 14. Okay. Ow. Ouch again. Then we lore hold command, so we're going to do 3 to them and gain 3 and make a 3-2. What? Target a creature, player. Oh, I see. It's weird that it has 2 targets for that. Okay. So Mizzix's Mastery just gets us there now, I think. Yeah. Because we go Mizzix's Mastery overloaded. Exile all the things. So we cast Sublime Epiphany first. Create a token that's a copy, return something, and draw a card. Then we cast Lore Hold Command, and we want +1/+0 and Lightning Helix. We're going to gain the life. Ooh. We don't really need to cast the rest of this. Oh, you're right. It did stack that wrong. Uh-oh. I think we're probably still going to be okay, but I did stack it wrong. And I should have gotten another 3-2. What did I do with the other trigger? I really messed that up. We should have just won the game. And we did not. How did I... What did I choose as the other option? That's the question. We drew Magma Opus. We have to win the game. Oh. Well, I screwed it up, but we won anyway. I should have had 3 3/2s for one. Is the thing that... Like, I get why they didn't have haste, but why didn't I have a third 3/2? Because I made one with the command, and then a copy with the Epiphany, but... I must have somehow chosen a different option with the command. Oh, I chose +1/+0. That's why. Yeah. So I shouldn't have had 2, but I should have had 2 that could attack right away. Because I had to choose the Helix effect as well. Although I guess I didn't have to. Another token might have just been better. Given that I didn't stack it right, it's probably better to do 3 right away, so... What's happening here? Am I supposed to do something? I can't remember when it's supposed to, when I'm supposed to restart Arena or not in order to not lose. Okay, good. There it goes. This is fine. I do think we're going to have to play our Hazard as a land, but, you know, we also have Smoldering Egg nonsense. If we're up against aggro, it's going to be hard for them to win. Okay. So, probably grab an island here. 2 or more other lands. So I'm not going to be able to play anything on turn 2 unless I draw the right kind of land. So yeah, we'll just grab an island with our Evolving Wilds. I didn't even know that we're going to have that many Planeswalkers in this set. That's like, not quite War of the Spark, but that's a lot of Planeswalkers. Does look like maybe we're up against aggro, which I think this hand is going to be a good matchup for. Yeah, so we're going to have to play this here. Although, actually, maybe it's greedy, but against a bunch of X1s, I don't know. I kind of hope I draw another another land. Okay, Crystalline Giant. That's not awesome. All right, so we are going to have to play the hazard here because we need double red for Sweltering Suns next turn. Yeah. So let's play the hazard here. I mean, I could play it to kill this and just play out an island and play Baral and hope we draw another red mana. It's not like I can't kill this with what I have in my hand now, except it has hexproof, so in fact I can't. So, alright, so yes, we play Spikefield Hazard here as a land. And I guess we also play Smoldering Egg, because it will survive a Sweltering Suns. Alright, this is all going to work out pretty nicely for us, as long as this doesn't get a counter. If it gets a +1/+1 counter... Okay, good, it didn't. It got Flying. Flying won't save you from Sweltering Suns. We get a 2/2. We don't quite get our creature back, sadly. But a 2/2 is pretty nice. Okay. Like the look of that. Okay, so probably go Baral. Mindstone Ornithopter, so that we can play basically anything we draw. Alright. So they did just turn off Baral's ability. All his abilities, but he's still a 1/3, and they used a whole card, so kind of okay with it overall. Yeah, so we have 8 mana now. Gross. So... Okay. How do I want to do this? I guess we're just going to cast multiple choice, bounce this. Yeah. Seems like the best choice. X equals 4. How much do you cost right now? Still kind of a lot, honestly, but I guess we probably still want him. Draw him. Make them bounce the War Boss. Make a 4/4. It's unlikely they have their own sweeper, given what their deck is, but I guess it's possible, and if they do, it's not going to be great for us. So we're going to use Flames of the Firebrand this turn, probably. And they do kill our biggest creature. Which means they're going to keep a token. I mean, I can Flames it, so they don't really keep it, but... Shatter Skull Smashing. Would I rather just cast this? Because I can just kill both of them with that and hold on to flames. And right now I have, like, all this extra mana. Later I may not have the luxury. It can do something crazy late. Yeah, if I pay 8, it gets insane. So we're not that far from that, actually. So I should probably just hold on to it and use flames here to kill these. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we can actually cast it for 8 now if we really want to. It just wouldn't accomplish anything extra, so. I do have 8, yeah. So we'll hold on to it to kill something better. Oh, and then I can just play Tolarian Terror, huh? Yeah. Okay. I'll take it. Alright, they kill the Terror too. Does take them their whole turn, so... not super alarmed by it. So, this Bowback Courier is actually kind of a problem. It could help them reload their hand. Nice. Well, kind of solves that problem, huh? Can kill the Courier, which is probably what I do. Lightning Helix the Courier, and buff our whole board. Would I rather make a 3-2 or buff the whole board? That is the question. Haste and buff. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. If they don't have a 1 red mana removal spell, which is a real possibility. So I think I'm going to err on the side of caution here, because we can. 3 damage to any target and make a creature. So, which means I don't have to do it now. Maybe we just go for lethal. Creatures you control. Yeah. It's actually not quite lethal anyway, but obviously it puts them in a hole. Okay. What do you blow up? The Ornithopter. Okay. So I guess we're going to Shatter Skull Smashing here. See what happens. Seems fine. We definitely would like to draw some early spells, but apart from that, we have all 3 colors. So, works for me. All right. Yeah, I'll play the wilds and grab a mountain. So, next turn we can play Baral. Depending on what's going on, I may just play Savai Triome. It's probably just better to play the Triome now. If I felt like I needed to add to the board, I would have, but I don't really feel that way. Looks like it's a mirror match. Midnight Clock. Okay. Oh my god, I should have played the island. I wanted to play Baral, not Smoldering Egg, but, you know, let's make mistakes. May not, I mean... Ooh, okay, they're mill deck? That might not bode super well for me. Okay, we drew the Mastery before they started milling, which now I think we're in really good shape. Man, so hold on a second here. So we play Raw. So I could play Raw, theoretically here. Then discard Magma Opus. And then do double Magma Opus when I cast Mizzix's Mastery with Raw. That all seems pretty exciting. The only problem is it does take a little bit of time, and that might not be something I have a lot of. So, interesting. I think we cast Raw here. This is going to get milled, so it doesn't matter much. I guess I'll just leave it on top. All lands, so they get to draw 3 cards. Jeez. Come on. Let me do my Mizzix Mastery thing that I want to do. Yeah, we're okay with that. We are okay with that. Chandra's scary, don't get me wrong, but what we're hoping is they don't really have any form of interaction. That's the hope. Can he damage Planeswalkers? He can. So can that. So the fact he can damage Planeswalkers has me considering a slightly different approach here. Because the ping effect will trigger... Well, the only spell I can actually cast is Mizzix's Mastery, so... I guess we don't want to leave lands on top. I should have thought about that last time. And this isn't considered a land, so we can just leave it, I guess. Makes our Seize the Storm better. So I think that means we want to play Baral here. See if that resolves. And then we will discard this at the end of their turn. And hopefully go off next turn. Yeah. Hopefully they tap out. If they don't tap out, I'm going to be a little concerned about our plans. Alright, well, they don't get to draw extra that time, at least. I mean, we're going to do it whether they tap out or not, frankly. Just because it's going to be hilarious if we get to pull it off. The Mizzix's Mastery and then 2 copies of Magma Opus off of Raw. Like, how can that not be what you want to do? Okay. What are they going to do with all this mana? That's... I don't like this. I don't like that. They have... all this mana up. So the good news is I can at least kill Chandra, no matter what happens here, basically. But they may counter what we want to actually do here. I could decide to copy Mizzix's Mastery and then cast, like, a weaker spell than what we want to do. But, come on. Why do they have to have so much mana up? All right. We're going to do it. So we're going to target Magma Opus. I'm going to do 1 to Chandra. I think they're countering this. Oh, I have to do it now, so I can't actually use the ability in between. Bummer. What a bummer. Wish I were smarter, you know? That would be helpful. Kill Chandra. Well, that's okay. I don't get to be quite as mean as I was hoping I was going to get to be. Because the effect, you know, you don't have time. The way the effect is worded, it's not like Snapcaster Mage where I get to cast it at any time during my turn. So... So what I should have done from the beginning is copied our Mizzix's Mastery, but we have other things we can copy. I think we're fine with drawing a Braid, so sure. Oh, except it gets milled. I'm so good. So they draw an extra card there. So we're at 15. Yeah, we got to kill them fast. And we have the means, I think. How many cards, spells are in our graveyard now? Why aren't you showing me? I'm too lazy to count. So we have 2 spells in exile. Oh, it's only cast the flashback ones, so those don't count. A Braid, Shatter, Skull Smashing, Spike. Okay. Well. Double Sublime Epiphany seems pretty spicy, but I kind of want a creature in play before I do that. So, double Lorehold Command I'll have to do. We get to pick off the Ether Channeler with the trigger. So... Oh, no I don't. God, read your cards, man! Okay. So, if I weren't bad at Magic, I think I would have chosen 3/2 and +1/+0. But what are you going to do, you know? They do counter 1 copy, but I kind of think we're okay with that. I'm going to go ahead and strangle this thing out of the way. Do another 1 to them. So we're down to 14 cards. Reading is boring. Yeah, I guess so. So next turn we can double seize the storm. Well, they are going to spend some resources here killing Rawl because they've had enough of his stuff, evidently. There's their Rawl. Oh, they did that so that I can't just, like, copy again without losing him, I guess. Or they've also got Bone Crusher. Yeah, okay. Okay. Well... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so I guess we're gonna just play out 2 big threats here. Yep, so they get their whole... I wish I had a midnight clock right about now. They draw 2 extra cards. So I have 2 more turns to try to kill them, which is not impossible, but... Man, they redrew their Ether Channeler after shuffling it in. That is frustrating. And there's a thing to gain them some life. If I'd played this game a little tighter, I wonder if we could have actually won. I don't know, though. They've had such good control of the game that I'm not convinced we would have. Okay. Well, I think Obliterating Bolt Bone Crusher Giant. The only annoying thing about all of that is I don't actually have the mana to Seize the Storm as well. I can counter this trigger at some point, which is definitely worth considering. Maybe we counter it next turn. So I could cast Sublime Epiphany now, is the other option. I guess doing that on their upkeep, countering this, bouncing Rawl isn't bad, but I just don't know that we have the time either way. I don't really think we do. If I bolt the Bone Crusher Giant, I can't do the other stuff. But I can't attack for 5 this turn, but I just don't think that's enough. I think it's probably better... Alright, so I think we do Epiphany here. We're going to return a non-land permanent, we're going to create a token, and we're going to draw a card. And I think we... Oh, I ran out of time. Stupid cube. So, yeah, we'll bounce Patient Rebuilding, make a copy of Tolarian Terror, and draw a card. Ooh. Yeah, we're a ways away from being able to cast this. I think they're going to get us before we can get them. Especially because I ran out of time there. They replay the rebuilding. Okay. So I think we go ahead and Obliterating Bolt the Bone Crusher here. We can't really draw any cards, so we don't want to. And we're going to attack both of these, attack them. We could go after Rawl, but if we do that, we're really going to run out of time. Right, so they block both. No big surprise there. I don't have to draw with this, so I'm considering playing it to get another, you know, then we have 12 damage on board. Yeah, so let's go ahead and play the Fable. 3, 4, 5, 6. So far from 10 mana this time. It does increase the chances of us finding a way to do that, though. It is crazy we did the Magma Opus thing in this game, and we're, like, as helpless as we are. But we didn't do it on turn 3, which is when you really want to do it, so I guess it's not that crazy. But our opponent, you know, they've just been able to really throttle us. I wonder what our last card is. What is our last card? Don't think it matters much. But let's find out.
This ought to be good.
It's funny, they never, I mean, they just did damage with Brawl. They never copied anything. Didn't need to, I guess. Our last card is an island. Yeah. We were just basically losing that entire game. Let's just cast a big Seize the Storm here for fun. Make an 11-11 and concede. Maybe that's just what I was supposed to do because of Trample. Maybe that was better than playing out like the other things that we did. But we had to buy ourselves a turn either by countering or bouncing the Epiphany. So the deck's been fun, but our 2-2 record is less than ideal. I actually haven't ever built my own cube. Would be cool, too, at some point. No red. Oh, no, we do have red. Yeah, okay, we'll keep it. Maybe we can just stick a turn 1 Delver and win in a different fashion than we have so far. Let's find out. I really did screw up in that game, because if I'd done double Mizzix's Mastery, like, the outcome is probably substantially different. Instead of thinking I could somehow double the Magma Opus. I wish I could have. I'm holding off on playing Smashing just in case we get lucky. Them killing our Delver is not great, though. Okay, well, there's Magma Opus. We don't currently have a way to kill Lotus Cobra, which is a problem. And stuff. We probably don't attack. I mean, we could, but I think preventing 2 damage is better than doing 1 for us. Yeah, they're gonna ramp it up here, I think. Cultivate with Lotus Cobra in play. It's wrong. It's just wrong. Luckily, they couldn't use the mana, so that makes it a little less awful. Okay, so we can hold on to our Shatter Skull Smashing. We'll go ahead and play Rawl here.
This is gonna hurt.
Seize the Storm. You're a very awkward draw right now. I had a surprisingly spell light hand. So I actually don't think we want it. Sadly. We just want more mana, basically. It does add to the board, but it would just add a 1/1 that it'll grow, I guess. But man, that is slow. You know, these other games, I think we were in them all, at least at some point, but I don't know that we're really in this one anymore. Now that Elder Gargaroth has joined the party. Yeah. How are we supposed to survive here?
Hold this lightning rod? Thanks.
Land, but land now isn't really enough. We need to draw removal, and we don't have that much that can deal with that anyway. I guess it does get us closer to Magma Opus, but even that isn't really powerful enough as late as we're going to cast it. What an awkward order to draw our cards in. Guess we're just going to bottom it and hope, but I don't think... don't think there's much we can hope for. So they attack and they get a trigger. We'll let them hit Rawl. I'm guessing they make a 3/3 beast. No, they want to draw cards. Every other game, you know, we were at least able to make the game last a while. This one doesn't really feel like we'll be competitive at all. Which is funny, because, I guess mid-range decks maybe are our biggest weakness. Oh my, you're in Crag Feet. What are you going to do with 10 mana? This is going to be crazy, whatever they do. Okay. Do I have Sweltering Suns in my deck still? I do, somewhere. But I put an island on top. Oh my, I sort of forgot that they were also going to get 8 mana. Cube is wild, man. Let's see what they do with all this mana. So they get to cast that. They get to make 8. And then what do they do? Wow, they couldn't use that 8 mana? How disappointing is that? They probably drew their cards in an awkward order too. The only problem is them drawing their cards in an awkward order gives them a lot more hope. Okay. They didn't even attack us, did they? Weird. Or did they? Did they attack us before casting and draw a card? I guess they did. So I could get Shatterskull Smashing and I can cast it here if I really want to kill at least Lotus Cobra, but I feel like that's the least of our problems right now. It's on top of our deck.
Like a bolt out of the blue.
Well, I shouldn't have done that before Fabled Passage, that's for sure. Yeah. Now that Scry was meaningless. I guess we're gonna kill the Lotus Cobra and, like, one of these lands. I guess. Actually, I can actually kill two of them. Take that. Yep, I've made a lot of mistakes and not read cards in this draft. It's been a problem. Guess I could have paid one more just to get more counters going there. All right. They portal us. That'll do it. I guess they were 1 mana shy last turn when they made all that mana, which is hilarious.